All right, Daniel the Adjuster here, and guess what? It's hurricane season! And yes, we have an active storm, Hurricane Idalia. Now, that sounds like kind of like an onion, like Vidalia. Well, anyways, we got a crazy onion growing out in the Gulf of Mexico, just getting started to get ready to be a big storm. Now, you think, Daniel, why are you so excited about a hurricane? Well, because it brings tons of work. There's a possibility that it will move up into multiple states, potentially even graze where I live in North Carolina, and bring some decent wind events. Now, I don't hope for bad for people, but you never know. I mean, I just hope for the fact that it will bring lots of work. I hope people will heed the warnings, get out of town, and let insurance take care of their damages. Loss of life is the worst thing that could ever happen, and that's where people stick around when they shouldn't. What I want to talk to you guys about is how to be prepared for this storm. It's like this for every hurricane, so you want to make sure you're doing these things in order to get ready for the storm. First, make sure that you have your cat gear ready. Now, your cat gear is going to be for if somebody calls you, they're going to be saying, hey, can you be here in 24 hours? Can you be here in 48 hours? And if you are living in Texas and you've got to get to Florida in 24 or 48 hours, it's going to put a rush on packing, okay? Let's say you're from Minnesota and you're heading to Florida. That's a long drive. You're going to be spending a lot of time on the road, so you don't want to spend all your time packing. So what I talk about was with a cat bucket is having all your things ready to go, except for maybe your primary things like your clothing, your personal items that you have, your toothbrush, stuff like that. That stuff you can all pack real quick. But the stuff that you can't pack real quick are going to be things that you need on the catastrophe event. Maybe you need a printer that you're going to have, a little portable printer that you're going to have in your car. Maybe you're going to have your laptop and your power supplies. You know, those extra power supplies are really handy. I have a little converter that I plug into my car so that I can have all my equipment set up in there, plug it all in, and it all works. It's a great tool to have. Make sure you have several cans of Fix-A-Flat. That's where you can fix a flat, get it? Fix a flat right on the road when you are dead on the side of the road after running over some debris. So that's really cool. Make sure you have extra gloves, you have lots of chalk. You make sure you have maybe you have multiple tape measures. How many times I've been on a roof, pull the tape measure out, pull a measurement, pulling it back in, and bam, the end snaps off the tape measure. The last thing you want to do is be short a tape measure. So 2 more extra tape measures is always handy. Make sure you have lots of batteries. Guys, how many times your moisture meter or your laser measurer goes dead because you don't have enough batteries? Make sure you have the ability to store some cool stuff, like a great cooler, ice packs. So you have to remember that while you're on the road, you may not have access to water very readily available. Have those water bottles in place, possibly some ice packs that hold some long-term things, long-term cool air, so that's something to think about. You also want to carry lots of snack food, okay? So protein bars, all sorts of, those are tons. Like I have many versions of protein bars because you may not be able to stop at a restaurant because they may be closed. Fast foods may be down, the power may be out. So you don't have an access to food. So you definitely want to have lots of those things. Make sure you have extra of everything, extra socks, the bottoms of your boots, the Cougar Paws, okay? Those pads wear out after you're climbing roofs over and over and over again. Make sure you have 2 or 3 sets of those as extra. You don't want to be stuck, slipping off a roof and then you don't have pads and you got to order them. Not going to happen real quick. Okay, make sure you have lots of pens, pencils, all the things that you use for documenting your claims. Extra clipboard, I always carry an extra one just in case. Then I'm going to be carrying things that help me be comfortable. A little cooling neck thing that you can put in the fridge and hold around your neck. Extra shirts, for when you sweat through those. A towel. When you get into the car and you're sweating your head off, it's always nice to have a towel to wipe off that sweat. Make sure you have a water bottle. Not necessarily a throwaway water bottle, but something that you can fill up with has even more. That can be your extra stores if you run out of water bottles that you bring with you. So Another great thing is that during a cat event, normally you have Red Cross or some of these other big event people that are there. You can stop over and grab some water from them. You can tell them you're an adjuster, and a lot of times they will let you pop in there and grab that as well. So as far as that cat bucket, that's a great, there's probably plenty of things that I forgot, but those are going to be the things that you want to make sure you have your ropes, your gear, all that stuff that you may need. I don't carry that around because typically I can climb everything, but if you're not comfortable, you might need your rope and harness gear, extra rope, maybe you know, ladder clamp, whatever you've got, bungees, all those different things, make sure you have those. Now, as far as getting deployed, one thing I want you guys to remember is the firms are the people who are going to call you. And so if you're not on those rosters and you're not telling them that you're available, they're not going to call you. Right now, before the storm hops in there, start filling out those forms on the firms and say, hey, I'm ready to go. I just want to turn in all my paperwork. You should have done it sooner, because this is the time when those firms are sending out emails and saying, hey, are you ready to go? And I'm getting tons and tons and tons of those from firms that I had signed up for that are asking me to be on their roster or be ready to deploy on standby for them. So it's always a nice feeling when your email's burning up with lots of opportunities to go on these storms, because then you can choose the best one. But if you're not on those firms, get on them now. Go to catadjuster.org. There's a whole list of them there. Just start filling them out as fast as possible. Now, for the new guy, this might be an opportunity for you to get deployed, so just be patient, but also call lots of these people. Tell them, hey, I'm brand new, but I'm ready to go. I'm really anxious to go. Can you put me on your list? And a lot of times they'll put you on a list, but they'll put you down at the bottom in case they happen to go through their whole list and they can't get any more. They'll bring in a brand new guy. And that's a great opportunity for you to get your feet wet when you've never worked on claims before. One thing you also want to do is make sure that you are skilled in your training. Make sure you've got all your certifications, your licenses. One thing that's most important, I think, is where's the storm going? Well, it's going to Florida, it's going to Georgia, it's going to South Carolina, and it's going to North Carolina. And every one of those states has a license. So you have to make sure that you are licensed in those states before you can work those claims. Now, the worst thing for you right now is to figure out you're not licensed in those, and 100,000 people are out there, not quite, but a lot of people are applying for these licenses because they see the storms going there. So I tell you guys in my previous videos, the time to get your licenses is not when the event is coming, but before that. And so, lesson be learned, if you don't have those licenses, it's going to take forever to get your license in the event that this storm is heading that way. So, anyways, just a few things for you guys to pay attention to. We are going to have a 2 and a 3 category, possibly even higher by the time it hits the panhandle of Florida. So we are going to have a big event, and I hope you guys are ready. Stay tuned and we'll keep you informed about what's happening with this storm. Talk to you later. Daniel the Adjuster, helping you to be the best adjuster.